I've stopped covering box office for a while, but I've decided to cover this trash film that is now a huge box office failure and it really deserves to fail, and that is Jessica Chastain's new ultra progressive so-called action flick called the 355. It's a woke movie that has really flopped at the box office. It's technically a disaster. It only made $4.3 million at the box office this weekend, which is an incredibly poor number considering the so-called talent that is involved in such a mess of a film. It is sitting at a 25% rotten score on Rotten Tomato, and even the so-called woke media hate this garbage of a movie. And it's really interesting to see how far this film flops going forward. It has a budget of $75 million, so this already is a disaster that has occurred simply because you have a lady that doesn't really want to tell any good story, that just wants to just focus on agenda, identity politics, horrible plot, things that are very unrealistic. I get it. We're in a world right now where everybody wants this female, not everybody, but the woke media, the woke losers are looking to give this false impression about women, that they have to be ultra strong, ultra this, ultra that, and the reality of the situation is that it's not really in that. It really isn't that way. That's not the way the world works. So it's a bad presentation of women. Women are not supposed to be portrayed in that manner. It's really unconvincing to see a woman that is 90 pounds in weight beating up a 200 300 plus pound man in any scenario. It doesn't make any sense. I get it that there are some scenarios where it can work, but when you start making it a normal thing, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So this spy flick is a huge failure. It's a huge failure for everyone involved. It's interesting to see how low this film flops, and how the lowest it can go before it leaves theater. I think in 2 weeks time it will go to premium video on demand, so it will be interesting to see, even if it can pull in something before then. I will be looking at it, but right now at $4.3 million debut in the United States, this is a terrible debut now. And the funny thing about this is that the media, the so-called progressive woke media, have turned their backs on so many of these woke films. Recently, they've decided, look, they're gonna go in on some of these films, and it's becoming quite apparent that even the so-called studios are no longer being backed by these people. So I'm going to be very watchful of so many of these films that are going to be coming out going forward. Right now, it's not going to be looking good for any of these woke movies that are coming out. These entertainment movies that are coming out, that should be entertaining you, but they're not really entertaining you. They're just preaching a horrible message that makes you cringe, and it's not interesting for anybody to enjoy these movies. And that is it. $4.3 million. It is pathetic. Even Spider-Man currently has made almost $1.6 billion at the box office. So you cannot blame the pandemic. You can't blame pandemic for this failure. There are so many films doing well at the box office. I can list them, and they are all in the same pandemic. So one cannot come and make any excuse about anything. So this film is horrible, and it's flopping because it's just horrible. So that's it. Do subscribe. I'll continue bringing more box office reports. I've stopped for a while. I will continue again, and maybe even some movie reports. Let's see if there are some interest in these reports going forward. Let's see. I will see everybody very much next time.